going on, guys? Back with another video. We have why the Pope dresses like that. I've always wondered why the Pope dresses like that. Yo, bro, it's 2021, 2019, 2020. You've been wearing the craziest shit, bro. Like, get your drip up, kid. Go to
Pope
Off-White.
Francis has developed a reputation
Go to the
for
Nike
being a
store,
bit
man.
unconventional.
Go to H&M.
Since his papacy
Target
began
got some
in
fire shit,
2013, he's done away with ring kissing,
because he wants to be humble.
throne sitting,
Pope Francis used the simple white chair,
Pope mobiling.
refusing to use his bulletproof vehicles.
He's broken a ton of centuries-old traditions, pushing for modern updates across the Catholic Church. But it's not just
Pope
with
getting
Pope
too
Francis
comfy. That's the problem. Pope over here getting comfy. Hope nothing don't happen to you though, my boy.
that sets him apart from past popes. It's what he wears. From elaborate embroidered scenes to
How
more
do you,
subtle...
comment down below, how do you become a pope? Is it like passed down through families like the royal shit? Or you just could go like apply and become a pope? Cause I don't know.
Papal
What is
clothing
a
has
pope?
always been laden with symbolism. And it's how Pope Francis communicates some of his most basic beliefs and intentions.
His basic belief and intentions. What does that mean?
Most of the time, Pope Francis wears this.
Okay.
When greeting crowds, meeting dignitaries, basically anything other than performing Mass. It's made up of a cassock, an ankle-length coat,
We having too
a
much fun,
fascia
bro.
tied around his waist, a zucchetto, which translates to
We have a what?
skull cap for obvious reasons,
A cassock. We have a cassock, a fascia, a zucchito.
and this,
And
a pellegrina, a cape
pellegrina.
of sorts, which unfortunately often blows in the wind, prompting an ongoing heated debate over whether or not to add Velcro. Anyway,
I'm weak.
the
Add
Pope's
Velcro
clothing
got me
is
dead.
roughly the same as a cardinal's below him, or bishop's below them, except all of the Pope's clothing is, of course, white, the biblical color of angels and Jesus' robes, symbolizing innocence, purity, divinity. This outfit has been roughly the same since at least the 1200s, and since the late 1700s, it's even been made by the same family of tailors. But each pope adds their own specific flair. Compare Pope Francis to Pope John Paul II. He was 2 popes ago. You couldn't find a Pope Benedict doll, probably because he wasn't pope for very long. Even in doll form, the differences are easy to see. Pope Francis's fascia is plain instead of being fringed and bearing his coat of arms, and his crucifix is iron as opposed to gold. Francis
what are you
also keeps it
talking
plain when it
about?
comes to outerwear, opting for a white peacoat
Folks,
instead
I
of the
was in the
traditional
chat for
winter
votes. We're
rosetta,
never watching this
lined
channel
with
again. This
ermine
shit
fur.
sucks.
That's this extremely cute weasel-like animal. And then there's the shoes. Popes usually pick one style of shoes and stick to them. Pope Francis wears
fuck
frugal
you,
black
Pope.
Oxfords
Give a
paired
fuck
with
about the
black
Pope,
socks, the same shoes he
fuck you
wore
ever
as a
gonna see the
priest
Pope?
and a cardinal.
Just fuck about this guy.
But before him, most popes opted for
Like,
white
what is the
socks
Pope
and
for?
red
Catholic
shoes.
or the
JP2 wore a dark burgundy
just-
pair, and Pope Benedict famously
They
sported
just all
slick
look
red
like
leather
mad, like.
loafers, which prompted Esquire magazine to name him Accessorizer of the Year in
Oh,
2007.
Y'all mop his
The
dick.
red
He
shoes
is
are
not
likely
fly.
a
Like,
reference
he
to
is
the
not
blood of
dripping.
martyrs and the passion of
Accessorizer
Jesus,
of the year.
who
Fuck
is
outta
often
here.
pictured in red post-resurrection. But some claim they're just a holdover from when the rich and powerful wore a lot of red, because it was expensive, and set them apart from common people. Which, it seems, is where a lot of papal garment design originates.
I believe that.
If you look at the clothing
They said
of Byzantine royalty,
The red was expensive, and then it separated you from the rest of the people by status. You feel me? So back in the days, I would have had to throw in some red, man. Now let me
see
stop.
a lot of similarities to modern Catholic leadership, right down to
It's like
the red
nowadays,
shoes.
like how
Pope Francis's
Yeah, I'm
choices
talking about
reflect a desire to distance himself from that history.
Come vorrei una chiesa povera e per I poveri.
He even wears some of the same mass vestments he did as a bishop, including this, his mitre.
miter.
Mitres, essentially foldable hats, have been around in various iterations for at least 1,000 years.
Damn,
Today, they're
1,000
worn only during
years?
Mass.
Like,
Not just by the Pope, but by cardinals and bishops too.
yeah, isn't it
No.
crazy how like tradition just kept getting like passed down? Like we'll never get to like go back in history and see these shits, but like it was passed down like continuously, and certain shit just kept getting passed down people kept dying out, but you pass it on to your kids. Your kids live on, pass it on to their kids. They die. It's crazy. Like,
can really agree on
the
their
world
origin,
is so amazing,
but
man.
they're likely yet another holdover from royal dress. There are a few mass vestments reserved only for the Pope, including the pallium, this circular wool band,
Pallium.
and sometimes this thing, a ferula,
Pharaoh.
both references to Jesus as the Good Shepherd.
Jesus as the
But
good shepherd.
the main event of the Pope's mass attire is the chasuble, essentially a poncho. This chasuble, white with a minimal gold trim, is the first one Pope Francis wore, his choice for his inaugural mass. Traditionally, the time for your showiest chasuble.
How that shit don't blow
It's
off
also
his
his
head, like,
chasuble of choice, worn most frequently throughout the year, even on Christmas, another time
Is that a
popes
baby
usually
he's
opt for
holding?
more opulence.
it don't
But
even look
over
like
the
he's holding
course
that
of the
baby
year,
with care.
chasuble
Like,
colors vary according to the church calendar, a schedule all priests roughly follow. Purple during times of penance, like Advent and Lent. Green during times of growth, used throughout, quote, ordinary time. White and gold symbolizing joy and purity for major celebrations like Easter and Christmas.
okay.
Sprinkled in are some red chasubles,
So there is some
whenever
ethics behind
sacrifice
it.
is celebrated, and a few pink ones. Pope Francis usually follows this calendar, but on July 8th, 2013, he wore this. A simple purple chasuble, even though it was squarely within ordinary time. Purple, the color of penance and mourning. He wore it during a visit to a refugee camp on the Italian island of Lampedusa. While standing atop an altar made of wooden remnants from refugee boats, he delivered a now famous homily that criticized global indifference to the crisis.
Ci siamo abituati alla sofferenza dell'altro.
We have become
Non
used
ci
to the
riguarda,
suffering of others. It
non
doesn't
ci
affect me. It
interessa.
doesn't concern me.
Non è affare nostro.
None of my business. That's true, though.
His
That's true.
clothes represent the church
That's
he's
how we
working
do
to
act
build.
nowadays, man.
Something simpler, more accessible, more modern.
Nah, yeah. Folks, oh my